welcome to Empowerment Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Friedemann, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving time and are heading towards the end of the year and the holiday season with rather calmness and ideally with little stress as possible. I sometimes do the shows at the end of the year about how to be stress-free during the holidays. But this year, I really wanted to address something that, she says in the intro, some of the most challenging things in our life. Well, one of the most challenging things in our life, I find, is that time is flying by like nothing. It's unbelievable. I mean, this year, I really thought like, okay, I'm going to be very mindful about time and spend it very consciously, just like I would spend money and pay attention. And I think I did a fairly good job. But still, somehow we are at the end of the year and it feels like, we should be maybe a third through. So I don't know what happens. Is time speeding up? Are we just somehow so often busy and in some kind of a go mode that we are just not noticing how it flies by? So I wanted today talk about how to make this year that's almost over, it's like 330 or so days in, how to make this year something that you still can savor again. It's like, going back and heating up a soup. Second time's much better. And by doing this, maybe also really feel like you're slowing down rather than feeling you have to rush into 2020. You're slowing down and actually are taking stock on this still 2019. Now, Danielle and I, since almost 20 years, have been doing a ritual at the end of the year where we are looking back and we are thinking about the things we're grateful for, the successes we had, the dreams we fulfilled, and things like that. And then we also look forward to the next year and make a list of, milestones and dreams and so on that we have then for that coming 12 months. And it's really amazing. It works really well, not only because we celebrate the year so much more, but we also are creating somehow a momentum for that next year. So I can highly recommend that. But since we're going backwards this year and looking back, one of the things I find beyond successes and so on, so important to look at are the things we have learned this year. It's all about learning. I think the purpose of life is learning more about ourselves, learning more about the world, learning more about the interactions with those around us, just, growing, expanding, finding out more what is possible. And there is a 3-step process that you may just right now do if you want to. So they're just a list you make, 3 lists actually. 1 list you would write down. So what are my accomplishments this year? And accomplishments are, things where you feel like, yeah, I made progress, or at the beginning of the year, I wanted to lose weight, or at the beginning of the year, I wanted to have a better connection with my sister, or at the beginning of the year, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I would finally finish, this blog page I started. Can be other things. Can be just getting your dog to finally have its potty training done. Be creative. See what happened. See what changed. Write those accomplishments down. Then write down those challenges. Ideally, you find at least 10 challenges that you dealt with and that you overcame, like obstacles. I got this major unexpected bill. I didn't know how to deal with it, and somehow we were able to do this. I had some health scare. I had maybe, someone in my family got in trouble and we didn't know how to help. Challenges, and how you overcame them. Write that down. And the third one is then those, maybe deeper changes that you have made, where you would say like, yeah, I really changed my consumption of the news because I'm sick and tired of always feeling negative afterwards. Or I really changed caring about what my neighbors are thinking, and now I'm totally fine going out with a bathrobe and picking up the newspaper on the grass. I mean, whatever changes you have been making, maybe you sold your business, which is a huge change, write those changes down too. And once you have this accomplishments, obstacles, and changes you have made, right next to it, what you have learned about yourself and your capacity to be able to reach goals or to handle challenges or to make changes. What have you learned? What were those inner qualities that you were able to tap into? You know, when you're thinking about, let's say, for example, changes, I mean, what you could say, what you have learned about yourself, maybe I can be really diligent. Or you can say, I have learned that I have a little inner resistance part, which, you know, in Germany, we call them the swine dog, who just sometimes can say no to anything that we want to do in regards to changes. And I overcame it, and I was able to push through it. And in the accomplishments, maybe there was an enormous amount of creativity, or with the obstacles, you were feeling, you know, I was actually able to ask for help. And asking for help was always hard for me, but I realized and I learned from this year that help is there when you ask for it. And people are actually showing up when you need them or when you have some vulnerability that you're dealing with. So do this little inventory and really see that this year is not just another one done. Maybe you felt like I was mainly on autopilot. I have no idea what happened. Or maybe you're feeling like it was really a hard year and I just want to forget about it. Don't. Because the precious or the most precious commodity we have is time. And just like, you know, you go on a shopping spree and you bring 5 bags home or 10 bags home, well, you don't just put the bags in the closet and never look what you actually got. You sit down, you unpack, and then you enjoy those little treasures that you have been able to purchase. And so, same thing, time is precious, and you just go back and really unpack again those 365 days and see what you got and see how you learned. Because in the end, in nature, if we don't grow, we wilt, we die. And if we don't learn, I think we become stagnant. And we become stagnant, there is something inside of us that also feels more depressed or more purposeless. And so just feeling that learning is like a fuel that will also carry over to the next year is certainly something that I think is worth spending time with. Now, I'm going to talk about my personal learnings of this year. I just want to share some with you because I think we can always learn from each other. And there are things that I find really made a difference in my life. And I really also noticed that there are some things I learned about our biggest obstacles that, you know, some of them I knew, but I have to certainly see or experience things at least 6 times before they're sinking in. That may be just me, but I think, you know, some of you also may feel like, oh, now that I heard it for this X amount time, I get it. I think I should pay attention to that too. I also want to share learnings that I got from Empowerment Radio guests who actually were giving me these little tidbits of ahas that I then wanted to incorporate into my life. And I want to share from people that already emailed me about their life lessons and learnings for this life. And I would love if you share some of yours. If you can call in 800-930-2819 and just talk a little bit about what you have learned, or write into the Facebook live page, either on Transformation Talk Radio or Dr. Friedemann Schaub. Make a little note there, or also the chat box on Transformation Talk Radio. I would love to hear what were your life lessons, what do you feel you want to share with others, so that maybe we don't have to go through those same experiences you went through, that you learned from, and we can avoid that. Well, I'm looking forward to that. We will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.